Alright, time for the third video in this series. Okay, so we got this map structure. Just look at or watch the second video to see what I was talking about with the example, where you have to put your project and stuff like that. But when you know that, you put your project where it should be with the example. You have created the SQL with this one, for example, so you don't have to do it manually. And well, you put in this code. I'm gonna explain it now, how you do it. But what you want to start first with is to connect to the database. You do a PHP file which will connect to this to the database. So if we need to connect to the database, we just have to call this this PHP. So PHP, you got the tags here. You should know what PHP is, otherwise you have to go and watch in another tutorial. So we got this one, and we're saying if session isn't started, start session. Okay, that's the first thing we do here. I don't think we need it, but it's there anyway. I had some header problem before, but you don't have to care about that. Anyway, it's there, and if we're not, if session isn't started, start session, and we put in all these four things. The first one is the host. The second one is the name, the third one is the user, and the fourth one is the password. This is locally on the computer, so it's local host. So if you have a username, if you put root, and then it should be root, and then you can have the password, whatever you chose to have. So you don't have to have one, but if you have, you put it there. For example, if you have a live server, it should look something like this instead. So it's easy to change whatever you have here to another thing. So when I put it live, I need to copy this one and paste it over what I have locally here. So that's the only thing I need to do when I put it live. So that's a great thing. So that's why we want to define it like this. Good. So this creates a variable, and I put the variable like down here, as you see. So we need those four, and then I create this database here. So now we can, whenever we call this PHP, we can use this database right here. So for example, I go to check login. You see here, start session, include once, connect to database. So now we can use this database, and I call the database _db. So you see, if I go down here, you find _db right there. So I include it once, and I can then use it in this PHP, and I use it here. So this is good, because then we just have to connect to this one, and we got access to this one, and we don't need to see all this code in somewhere else, because we use this database quite a lot. So I go back here. So that was the connect to DB. Next one is the index. I'm gonna take away these ones first. So index, we got index here. This is the main site. So when you're going into this index, when you load it, you're coming right here, and this is what generates this. So if we look, you should be familiar with HTML. It's called PHP now, so we have to. It doesn't matter if we call it PHP or HTML, but we use PHP in the HTML, like for instance here. So session start, we get we put this in the tags here, PHP, and we put session start, and then we go and do our HTML. So you see here, I take away the body first by pushing the minus. So this is what we got. The body is, or the head is this. Don't forget, well, you already got my code, but you need the doc type HTML to make it work in some things works in Internet Explorer. We do all these things here. We put in CSS, for example. We call this so we can style, you know, we can style things. And what we need, that one we don't need, is I included Bootstrap, and it changes these ones a little bit, but it's not much. So Bootstrap is not used that much, but anyway, I have it here. And then we have the styled chess, and that's more where to put all buttons and stuff. Yeah, and we import this from css/bootstrap.min.css. So this file is in this folder, CSS, and this folder is the same place where index is. So if we look here, you see we have a CSS folder. So the CSS folder is right there, and we got bootstrap min CSS file right there. All right, so that's how it works. Okay, cool. This is just for to check things like here. All right. Okay, for you that know some stuff about this, you can you just fast forward, because I'm just gonna try to I'm gonna try to be well, if you're a beginner, it's important that you know some stuff. So console, you can get a console to get some output here if you want. We don't need this now because you already got the code, but when you're working with programming, it's good to have a console to output some stuff. Alright, so that's what this is about. If we go to the body now, what do we got in the body? Well, we got a header, it's called JS chess here, and then we include this one. And you know, what I like to do when I program, is to see the page as I don't want like scroll down like 1,000 lines, so you want to make it short. This one is going to the folder php's _pages login form. So this is just gonna load what's in this one straight away. So it's gonna it's gonna what do you say? It's like you just generate this code inside this. So it's the HTML just feels like it's part of this first index page here. So if you look at it anyway, I go to PHP pages, login form. This is what we got. We got the login. So this is how we log in the user, so we can save our moves or the board. And if we want to register, here is our form for registering. All right, so I just put it there, so now we have access to these ones, which is this or this. All right, so instead of having this in the code here, index, we just put a line here that is calling that one, so we only need one line here instead of 20 more. So I just did it for this one. All right, then we have the fen in div. I don't know what Blue Fever software he called it this one, and it's this one. So this is how to create your board. If you want this one empty, you push set position. You don't have your piece here. This is how to do all that. You have a button and you have a text field, alright? And the board is the board, no problem there. Current fen span or fen div or fen span is this one. It's the what we got right now. This is just what you generate. If I start moving now, you see it's something else here. This is still the same, you know, it doesn't change. It's just to set the position. Okay, save load output. This one is the buttons that is created, or it's the buttons that will save or load a move if you're logged in. You see, I put it in this one is the whole div. I put style display none, so it won't show when I reload this page. You don't see it anywhere loading anywhere, but it's right here, but it's not displayed, so display none. And when we're logged in, when we push login, this is gonna be instead set to display, so then we see the buttons. Alright, so we got start saved game, so here it will start, it will load the game, so we call that lmove SQL data, last move SQL data, and here it's called last move save SQL, so we want to save something here, so it's save board. And then if we want to go to a multiplayer game, we want to go to this page first, you know, that you've seen over here. Over here. This is the pages index mult. So index multiplayer, it's the page where you go to when you're not in a multiplayer game, and then when you push multiplayer game, you come to this page here. Okay, and then you have the game status here. So if we have a new game and I make the computer do a checkmate, simple one. You see it says game over, black mates. This is the game status check. Can be some stuff else, you know, like those weird moves, you know, like 50 moves and you haven't, I don't remember what it is, but you know, like you can either say you want you know, a tie or not after 50 plays if something hasn't changed. I don't remember what it is, but then it would change the game status. All right. Okay, a lot of babbling, but you know, it's not something you can do about, you know, it's hard, especially since English is not my language. Anyway, PHP right here. I say this div is not outputted but needed to work. We have the game status, we have a new game button. That's what, you know, Blue Fever, you know, the one that programmed this, and you got the link in the comments. He put a lot of stuff here, which I haven't bothered to. I tried to delete all this, but then the game didn't work. So obviously it's something needed somewhere. So we need this, but you know, I can't take it away. So what I did here as well is that I include this in the page, but I don't want to see it because I don't use it. So, but we need it. We need it. Okay, so we got that one. And for the last thing here is the script. So obviously, or I don't know how good you are, but script is, you put the JavaScripts down here. So you load it, the the last, now it doesn't matter actually because we don't output so much, but if you output a lot it's going to take time to do the changes, and the JavaScript might be heavy sometimes, so you want to put it last so it loads that last. So if you have pictures and stuff like that, those are going to load before the JavaScript. Well, anyway, here's the JavaScripts we're calling or including. So we have the jQuery. It's a JavaScript library, which so we can use JavaScript. So that's the whole thing. I got it in two places here, which is not good, obviously. It's the same thing. They use the same thing, but I got it anyway, and it doesn't matter if I put it like this. I haven't bothered to take in any one of those out. We have the bootstrap here, and that's so we can use the CSS to what we want. We have the CSS bootstrap here. If we want to use that, we need the JS as well, JavaScript here. So that's included. And then we come to Blue Fever software. He had all this inside of the JavaScript program right there. This is what I got, and I haven't changed it anything. Oh, sorry, it's to here. Sorry, there you go. The buttons I've created here is, the login and stuff like that. If you go to this one, I'm gonna explain that in the next video, the JavaScript and what it does. So those we find it if I go here. You see JS is called here, so we need to go into this folder. Here we find all the JS files, and I got a folder that is called buttons. So JS buttons right there and JS buttons right there, and we got those three files. This one's is from the Blue Fever software and a little bootstrap and stuff like that, but we're gonna look at buttons in the next video. But we call the JavaScripts from here, and then we're all good. So that's the first page here. Okay? Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.